In celebrating 50 years of unbroken senior status since 1959, we are justifiably proud of the 14 senior championships, 18 senior leagues, the latest of which was won this year, 2009, 4 Ulster Club Championships, and an All-Ireland St Patrick's Day 79 club final appearance in Croke Park. Those glorious years were characterised by the dedication and hard work of many people. Seán Hegarty's name is legendary for the service which he gave for over 60 years to the Scotstown Club as a player, secretary and treasurer. As treasurer, he was ably assisted by his great friend George McKenna from Tydavnet. We begin with Seán. I'd be right in saying, Seán, that your interest in Scotstown football goes back a long way.
You could say that again. Pat and Peter Maguire had a cobbler's shop beside our house.
Yeah. Peter was a goal scorer on the 33 team which won the Ward Cup.
Which was captained by Jimmy Matusky.
That's Jimmy from Tydavnet.
Tydavnet, and he had I think he had a brother playing too, Terry.
Yeah.
And it also included Johnny Corrigan and Jimmy Halfpenny, who was grandfather to the O'Halpins of Cork, who were playing for Cork at the present time.
And then there was
we moved on to Tydavnet.
That's right, that was 1935.
1935. The team was called Tydavnet that year, and Frank McCarn was captain of that particular
That's Frank
team.
of Dewberry.
Frank of Dewberry.
Yeah, he later worked at the building of the complex.
Very much so.
That's right.
Very much so.
So they were county junior champions as far as I know.
They were county junior champions.
Yeah.
The World Cup was in 33, the championship in 35.
All right. And then you mentioned Peter Maguire there. Pat Maguire kicked football too, didn't he?
Yeah, we moved on then. There seemed to be a blank period there between that and the Knockatown team of 1944.
Yeah.
Pat Maguire played on that team, captained by Seán Clergan.
All right.
Charlie Brennan at that time was, I think, a student in the university, and he played for the county team in the 38 and 39. Yeah. He was a member of the Scotstown Club at certain
So
time.
you're talking now, Seán, about, when you mentioned Knockatown there, that was 44 and that, you know.
And that was the Ward Cup.
All right. And then if we come on a wee bit later than that, into the later, maybe 45 and that, 46.
Yeah.
I think the Miners were coming into it then, weren't they?
The Minor twins were beginning to blossom.
Yeah.
Mackie, I think, was playing for Louth, minor county team. Tommy was on the Monaghan minor team that won the Ulster Championship. The last team that won the Ulster, last minor team that won the Ulster Championship.
1945.
1945.
Right. And of course, I remember mentioning Mickey McCaffrey, but Mickey he wouldn't have been a minor then.
Oh no, Mickey was in Dublin for most of that time, and he was a brother of Annie Butler's and Jimmy McCaffrey, that was a member of the club.
That's right. And then Sonny Campbell was around that.
Sonny Campbell was.
He was at the Brothers.
He was at the Brothers and was selected on the Ulster College's team 2 consecutive years. So Sonny was a great footballer.
And it would have been around that time that that a minor team was established in the parish.
Yeah, well, a new curate came to the parish, Father Maguire. And together with Master Murray, who was chairman of the club.
Master Raymond Murray.
Master Raymond Murray. Between themselves, they managed to get a minor team together.
Yeah.
A number of Emyvale players were playing on it too.
Who had you from Emyvale?
We had Shosha Fields and John James McMean.
All right.
And Sonny Campbell was captain of that team. And they played at the Poplar Vale, where the old agricultural colleges.
There was a clerking man on it too.
There was a clerking man who's probably an uncle of Seán.
Right. I have a notion he might have been Frank, you know.
I can't remember. Frankie McCary, brother of Jimmy's.
That's
he was one of the full backs, and Beanie Conley was the other.
Right. I have a notion it was, I think matches that time with 13 aside or something, Seán, were they?
Well,
That's
well,
right,
13
yeah.
aside.
So we're more or less late 40s now, Seán, and heading on, things were looking up for the club then, you know?
Well, they were to a certain extent. They were junior.
Yeah.
And they played in the Skeen in the final of the junior championship.
Of the war, was that
it the Ward Cup or
it
the
was the
Junior
Ward Cup,
Championship? I can't remember.
That was the 1950 Ward Cup.
And if Peter Fellamy and all, Pat Sherry was playing that particular game.
Right.
Pat was their Kenyan brother Jimmy.
And Pat made it then before Jimmy.
Oh, he made it before the whole lot of us.
All right, okay. I don't know how well that went down.
That was the way it was that time.
And
Pat was a very good footballer.
That's right. Peter Fellamy, he was...
Peter Fellamy was playing midfield.
That's Ray's father.
Ray's father, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, he was a stalwart with the national team for years.
And then,
Pat
of course...
Brennan was there too.
That's
Pat
right.
was another gentleman that came from Donegal for every match during the early 50s and 50s when we had a great team.
You had two McGinnity's playing as well.
We had Gene McGinty from a brother of Jamie McGinty, a brother of Gene McGinty.
All right, that's Kilmore.
Kilmore, and then we had Jimmy McGinty of Iterera.
Right.
A nickname on him, I forget what they called him.
Silver Heels, I think it was.
Heels.
That's right.
And he scored 3 goals in that.
That's fair enough. Well, I think he was well nicknamed then, you know.
Oh, he was well nicknamed.
Yeah, you could call him Golden Heels that day, you know.
That's right.
Now, I'd be right in saying, Seán, then, you know, you mentioned the Ward Cup in junior, but they were promoted senior, weren't they?
Promoted senior in 1952. And they played Ballybay in the World Cup final in Cloners.
That's right.
And they were beaten that particular day.
That was the 52 World Cup.
52 World Cup.
That was played, in fact, it was played in 1953. Because I remember Pat Brennan telling me that he travelled from Donegal.
Yeah, he was the oldest travelled.
That's right. Tommy Moyne was injured that day, you know.
Tommy Moyne came back to Scotstown in 1952, Tommy. And became involved in the club. Yeah. Very much so.
Yeah. And I remember him having to go off injured, you know.
In the Ballybay game?
Yeah.
Well, I can't remember that.
That's right. Along with subs Brian Cassidy and Seán Hegarty are Harry Cassidy, Benny McCaffrey, who did so much for the GAA in Luton, Patsy Traynor, Peter Sherry, Cyril Campbell, Eddie Sherry, the tall Thomas James Connolly, Brian McKenna and Joe O'Neill. Josephine Moyne, for one, is enjoying the exchanges. While we now see Tommy Moyne, Jack Connolly of Drerd and Peter Sherry at a sports day in Emyvale. They are not the only Scotstown people there that day, as we shall see. Annie Moyne, her mother Catherine, Marjorie Boylan, Mackie Moyne's wife, Bill Rowland, a shop boy in Moyne's with glasses, and old Mac Moyne. We see Scotstown as well in the pre-match parade. I'm going to skip a few years, Seán, because there wasn't great, what you might call success, you know. So we're happy enough and moving on, you know.
Yes.
And I'm thinking of the Tydavnet Team about 1957 of that, you know.
Yeah. Well, you see, at that particular time, Mikey, things weren't great. There wasn't a tiger thing. Everything was...
No Celtic tiger.
People were emigrating. In fact, Luton was a small Scotstown at that time.
Yeah.
Working in the Vauxhall factory there.
Yeah.
And, it took a lot of players away. And then in 1957, Tydavnet decided they couldn't field anymore.
Yeah.
So they came, Kim O'Gork, Oliver Fellamy, Jimmy Sherry.
That's Jimmy Drumhillock.
Jimmy Drumhillock.
And
Philly Brady.
That's right, yeah.
I think Peter was already with Scotstown at that particular time.
Peter was with Scotstown for a while, yeah. So I'm going to ask you, Seán, just about club grounds, you know. At what stage did the club get its own grounds?
So, bought that ground from Paddy Boylan, 1952.
Yeah. Because I had been playing in various places like before that, you know.
Surely down Duffy's Field and Sheskin and...
that's Guns of Sheskin.
That's Guns of Sheskin.
But if you go back even further...
Squires Field. Yeah.
That's in front of Steveley's there, isn't it?
That's in front of Steveley's.
Yeah.
I remember Paddy Clerkin playing there, 20 man and a half.
Right. And then before that, I think, you know, maybe you can go back... I'm not saying it's the Scotstown team, but there was football played in Derry Allahan, wasn't there?
That'd be Knockatallon.
Right.
Knockatallon then finished playing the matches in Sheffield too.
There might have been football played in Crochor as well, you know.
Crochor was the Tydavnet team.
That's right.
They played in Crochor, and I think we were in Hamilton. We were in Peter Duffy's field where the show is.
That's right. When did you get the field beside the hall then?
It was bought in 52.
Right.
From Paddy Boylan.
Right.
For a princely sum of £800.
I think
which was Tommy Minor's father, Owen Mac, put down half the price, £400.
Right.
Money was scarce there.
So
you know.
Owen Mac was the only man who had money around the town.
Well, that's it.
Yeah.
Probably due to Tommy's...
I'm saying it not in jest, you know, because like it was a very generous thing to do, because you were talking about a lot of money then. You know?
A lot of money at that time.
You're talking about half the price of the property, you know?
Yeah.
Or maybe more.
Then a lot of development had to be done before we left Hammond's Field. We were in Hammond's Field in 53.
Yeah.
And in 54, I think we moved into the new field, but they had to take ditches out and do drainage, and it was all manual.
Yeah, of course it was.
It was all shovel and spade.
That's right. I think it was around that time that Tommy Moyney became a trustee, isn't that right? Tommy
Moyney and Matt Caulfield and Jimmy McCaffrey were the trustees.
That's right.
And Brendan Mohan now has taken over from...
Brendan of Carroll.
Who was a great Kishti man.
Oh, that's right,
a great club man.
That money, like, for the development of the field,